Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the actual physical linguistic scaffolding that allows both humans and machines to understand text. I'm super excited to guide you through this, because honestly, once you see how language is stitched together, you are never going to look at a paragraph the exact same way again. So, have you ever stopped to wonder what makes a series of sentences feel like a unified document rather than just, a random, disconnected list of words? Think about it. When you read a report or a story, it flows. It doesn't just feel like a dictionary exploded on the page. There are invisible threads linking everything, and understanding those threads is the absolute foundation of natural language processing. Well, it all comes down to a surface-level property called cohesion. Essentially, cohesion acts as the visible, grammatical glue of our language. It refers specifically to the grammatical and lexical relationships between different elements of a text that link them together structurally. We achieve this by using explicit linguistic devices known as cohesive markers. It's literally the objective architecture sitting right there on the page. Now, before we go any further, it's absolutely crucial to separate cohesion from coherence. Cohesion is the visible, objective, linguistic structuring of the text. It's the actual words connecting to other words. Coherence, on the other hand, is the subjective, conceptual, and logical progression of ideas that makes a discourse understandable inside your head. Basically, cohesion is on the paper and coherence is in your mind. Okay, moving to section 1. Halliday and Hassan's framework, the 5 cohesive devices. Let's unpack the exact toolkit we humans use to build these structural links. According to this classic framework, human language relies on 5 specific types of cohesive devices to weave sentences together. We've got reference, substitution, ellipsis, conjunction, and lexical cohesion. Each one acts like a different type of structural fastener. Let's take a quick look at each one. First up is reference. Think of this as a linguistic pointer to an entity somewhere else in the text. Instead of repeating a noun over and over, we just use pronouns or demonstratives to point the reader either backward or forward in the sentence. This brilliantly illustrates how that pointing actually works in practice. We have anaphora, which points backward. For example, John bought a car. He drives it daily. The pronoun he anchors right back to John. And then we have cataphora, pointing forward. Although she was tired, Mary finished the report. Here, the pronoun she anticipates Mary, pulling the reader forward through the sentence. The second device is substitution. It's exactly what it sounds like. We replace a specific linguistic item with a placeholder. For instance, my pen is broken. I must buy a new one. See that? We're swapping the specific word pen for the placeholder word one. It keeps the structure perfectly intact without sounding repetitive. Third is ellipsis. Here, we achieve structural flow by completely omitting a word or phrase that's already understood from the context. If someone asks, "Would you like some tea?" and you reply, "Yes, I would," you've just omitted the whole phrase, "like some tea." We humans are efficient, maybe even a bit lazy, so the sentence is essentially hollowed out, but the structural tie remains totally clear to the listener. Fourth, we've got conjunctions. These use explicit, labeled signal words to dictate the relationship between sentences. They tell us exactly how to logically connect the pieces. It might be a contrast, using words like however or but. It might be causal, using therefore or because. Or it could be temporal, mapping out time with words like then or finally. Finally, the 5th device, lexical cohesion. This creates structural unity purely through word choices, and it happens in 2 ways. First, through reiteration, repeating the exact word using synonyms or superordinates, like saying, "The dog barked," "The animal was hungry." Animal ties right back to dog. Second, we use collocation, which relies on co-occurrence patterns, words that naturally live in the same semantic domain, like doctor and hospital, structurally tie a text together just by hanging out near each other. All right, section 2, the role of cohesion in NLP and discourse processing. So here is the million-dollar question. Why does this human linguistic scaffolding matter for algorithms? It's great that we do this naturally, but how do we teach a machine to follow these invisible threads? Well, identifying these specific cohesive ties plays 4 absolutely vital roles in allowing machines to actually process and navigate discourse. They are core reference resolution, discourse segmentation, structuring information flow, and summarization and generation. Let's break those down. First up, resolving these references helps the parser link pronouns and noun phrases straight to the correct real-world entities. This is called co-reference resolution. It's what allows an NLP system to build a coherent entity grid. Basically, it gives the algorithm a mental map so it knows exactly who is doing what at any given moment. Second, algorithms use cohesion for discourse segmentation. Think about a machine trying to find paragraphs in a massive, unformatted text file. Algorithms like text tiling look for abrupt shifts in these cohesive markers, like a sudden change in lexical chains or pronouns. These sudden drops in structural glue successfully flag the boundaries between different topics or paragraphs. Third, tracking these ties enables NLP systems to structure information flow, which is absolutely essential for modern AI. It lets conversational agents track the thematic progression of a chat, distinguishing between older, given information and brand new information. This is exactly how an AI maintains context across complex, multi-turn dialogues without totally losing the plot. Finally, cohesive markers heavily guide automated summarization and text generation. When summarizing, the algorithm targets sentences that are strongly bound together by these ties, so nothing gets yanked out of context. And when it's generating new text, keeping track of these markers ensures the AI creates a flow that's natural, not disconnected, robotic, or full of weird repetitive gaps. So as we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this provocative thought. An algorithm's ability to process language, to summarize documents, to chat with you, to search the web, ultimately relies entirely on its ability to trace these exact invisible threads. Without an understanding of cohesion, a machine is really just staring at a pile of disconnected words. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this completely changes how you look at the structure of the very next paragraph you read.